And we are back, everybody. And we got Amanda, who just pulled up on us. How you doing, gorgeous?
What's going on, Amanda?
Hey, y'all.
Mandy.
Missed me.
Yes.
Barely. That's a direct approach. So
Oh, straight into it, huh?
we were talking about direct versus indirect. So you may already know what that is, but just to recite it, direct is when you're straight to the point, no sugarcoating, no capping, right? And indirect is when you sugarcoat and try to beat around the bush to get to whatever you want to get to
Okay.
in your little heart. So,
Sounds very, very simple to me. I'm a very indirect approach kind of person.
You're indirect?
I'm very indirect.
Oh, so you sugarcoating shit and all that?
I'm heavy on the sugar coating.
why?
Real sweet, right?
Why is that?
Real sweet, real
Why
sweet.
is that?
Why is that? Well, I really just feel like I let the other person do the, pursuing. I want you to tell me you want me. I need you to be direct with me. I'ma just like throw in the little hints that, I want you to, but I'm not gonna say, I want you, be my man. Like,
So do you like it if we approach you directly? Like if we tell you like from Jump Street, not once we're courting or dating, I mean from first day that I meet you, if I tell you how I feel and what I want, is that cool with you?
Like, I want to fuck you today. You cool with that?
oh, is that your intentions only? Then
No, it's
I
not
would
my-
I would prefer you be direct with me so I know.
Yes, that's
But
what
let's
I'm
just say it like
asking.
this.
I would love that, because if I even thought that I wanted Rico, I would love if he came to me and say, yo, I'm really trying to fuck. I would have been like, okay, Rico's not for me. Moving on.
But you,
Why wouldn't he be for you though if he
But
came like that? Because you don't want
you don't
that?
love it then, because
You
you
don't
don't,
like the
like
direct
that
approach.
No,
approach.
No, I don't think that's
no,
what it is.
it's-
You
that's
wouldn't
not
date
what
those
it
type
is.
of men though.
It's not what it
Is it 'cause
is.
of me?
I
It's me?
love the approach. I love that you're being direct, so I don't have to waste my time trying to figure out what you want. When you're direct with me, I know what you want off the jump. I'm not wasting my time. You're not wasting
so
your
what if
time.
I said, hey, Amanda, I want to fuck you today, but eventually I want to marry you in a year from now. Now you know my intentions is not just sex. Now you know my intentions is to build with you, but I do want to fuck right now.
Yeah, but how would you know you want to marry? That would be a damn lie.
I'm just saying.
That's a super cappy with all kinds of hats.
Okay, how about this? Let me reiterate it for Disco Dave. I'm gonna say, hey Amanda, I wanna fuck you today, but I have 100% intentions on getting to know you and building possibly a relationship as long as we work for each other. But I do wanna fuck now.
Well, I would tell you that really sounds nice. Like that you want to get to know me, but I'm not going to fuck you today.
And I'm like, see, I like that. That's cool. That's called, so the direct approach can be
It works
negotiated.
then.
It can be negotiated.
It can be negotiated. So like,
I think that's crazy right there though to some degree, because if you was to say that directly back, then what would be the difference from 7 days from now? He could be gaming you for 7
She's not
days.
gonna say that.
And not, I know
just
that.
makes her feel better.
But what I'm saying, for 7 days, like let's say we did have this real conversation and you said, well, you listen, get to know me, court me, you say, because I like you, you're my style. Court me, take me out a couple of times, and yeah, I will fuck you eventually for sure. And now I'm just gaming you and lying you, manipulating you until I get the pussy, and then I run.
Yeah.
But can I ask you a
And
question?
now you're just another notch on my belt.
But do people
Okay,
really
but
have
I said, first of all, just because that was his intentions,
Right.
I'm
I'm just asking.
still taking the week for him to get to know me, for me to get to know him. That doesn't mean it's gonna work out. That doesn't
Right.
mean I'm really gonna like him just because he came to me with a direct approach.
she's buying time.
Exactly.
And it could also mean that within that week, he changes his mind and he like falls in love with
Anything's
her.
possible.
And
This
like-
is what I'm saying. Anything is
Yeah, I
possible.
think anything is possible.
And it's also just making yourself feel better. Like,
Right.
putting yourself, controlling the narrative.
controlling your
No, but why wouldn't you fuck the first day if you would do it 7 days later? Is it because you might think you're a hoe if you fuck him the first day as opposed to 7th day, the 14th
but I don't
day,
know
the
him at
21st
all.
day? You're not going to know him in a week. Because he might be lying. You won't know him in a month.
Ain't no might be. He's capping.
First
He's
of
the
all,
pussy.
some people
Might be.
are in relationships where they have sisters and brothers the same age from a whole different family. They didn't even know about that. They just never knew. So people really never know what they involved in and what they're really
That's
dealing
true,
with.
Dave, but that's just life. We never know who we're talking
Yeah.
to.
So then what's your
This is
concern?
life.
Would it be that how he's gonna look at me? I'm just using you because you know you're here now.
Me,
and-
I don't fuck on the first anything. I don't care if I
the
knew
You
seventh
you.
said
day?
that one time. Except that one time. I'm just saying, she said it. She said it was one time.
Go to the original episodes and you can find out who's been capping. Just hit that notification.
Facts.
You could go back to a few
Amanda's been
episodes
with us
and
for
find
a
out if
while.
Amanda or any
That
one of us
wasn't-
capping.
It wasn't the fuck that I said. I said it was the head.
Oh,
Is that the
the
same
head.
thing?
Oh, the head.
I'm not gonna lie. Like hearing the question, like I automatically thought, like, hell no, I'm not giving nobody head on the first date. But I have. I really have.
Right? Honesty.
Shocking, right? Shocking.
Honesty.
Is there an exception for me?
All sex is different.
Yes.
My bad.
Right.
We're talking about them in a sober mind state, right? But most of them happen when we're not sober.
That's when I'm the most
Alright?
honest.
So when somebody, but all I'm saying is that when we're talking to these women,
Different
yeah,
mindsets.
yeah, we can talk regular sober, but if you got a couple drinks in your system,
might be more direct.
and you might be more direct, or you might be more willing, you might be more receptive.
Might be
He
more
might have a
open.
chance, something that he would say would not be funny sober, but it's fucking
be
real
funny
funny
drunk.
and it's drunk. You know what I'm saying? Start touching and feeling.
People even look different when
That's
you're
what I'm
drunk.
saying. People start touching.
You're like,
People
you're
look
like,
better.
wait, hold on.
Some people look better when you're drunk.
But my point being is that that's the key to the approach. It's the timing and knowing when you can and
Oh,
when
this
you
sounds like a
shouldn't do
game.
it.
This
You
sounds
know
like
what
a
the
like
crazy
a
thing is? And I'm thinking about this and like, yo, Essa, I'm not gonna lie, you just brought me back to a day when my first ever day in football training camp, and the coach said, yo, y'all gonna go to college parties and watch how you speak to women because everything is a charge. So like, honestly, I can now thinking about that, like, especially if you drinking or not drinking, the direct approach
Can be a charge.
has big consequences. Like if I just said something to you and you find it remotely offensive, I can get an excruciating amount of trouble
human
from that.
resources.
You know what I'm saying? So I, and actually thinking about it, there's a lot of people who probably like, yo, I don't say anything that I truly want to say because I don't know how somebody's gonna take
That
it.
is happening for sure
Very
now.
true.
You know,
Absolutely,
happening for
that is
sure now.
happening.
I just
Absolutely.
thought about
But
that.
that's why Kelly said earlier, you have to realize who you're with. Sometimes people take the direct approach the wrong way. So it really just depends on how direct you are being.
So that sounds good. Amanda, like, so let's say if I was direct like this, I was like, yo, Amanda, I'm single, you single, what's up?
Okay, nice to see you hitting me with the direct approach. What's up?
I'm a single rich man looking for a female wife.
All right, I'm interested. So where we
I'm a
living?
businessman. Short Hills,
Condo in Brooklyn.
Park Slope.
Nah, Williamsburg.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. How much time we spending together?
8 hours a day.
7 hours, 12 hours a weekend.
55 hours max, but we'll get to the details later.
Sounds like a job right now.
All right, cool. Children,
1,
3.
2.
I gotta have a boy.
All right, I'll see what I could do. Vacation?
December, Columbia.
June, Vineyard.
June, fine, but Columbia.
No, Vineyard.
Is that a deal breaker?
Yes, it is.
That's doing business.
You'll find somebody else.
That's direct approach.
That sounds like I'm brokering a deal right now. That don't sound like
It
an
is.
approach.
It's kind of like bargaining a relationship.
That sounds like I am brokering a whole
But
deal
you are,
with you.
realistically.
That's why I said I
But
don't like
that's
the
not-
direct
but that's
approach.
not-
That is not the direct
You signed a
approach.
prenup
That
once you
is
meet her.
that is
That's-
a
but
job
like-
interview.
but think
No, but
about it
that
like this.
realistically is the direct approach. They're being
Nisha,
so
no.
direct right there.
Hell
Have
no.
you ever been asked that many questions on a first date?
No.
Where do you want a
That's
vacation? The
fucking
vineyard?
That's fucking speed dating. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's exactly what that is. That's not real.
But look, but think about it like this. Here's the pros and cons.
I gotta have a boy.
I gotta have 2, wait, 3, no, 1.
No,
Vineyard,
2 and a half.
Columbia.
Oh, I
no,
need a boy.
Vineyard, June. No.
2 and a half. Columbia.
I feel like part of the problem in relationships, we gotta also realize that majority of relationships are failing because the direct approach isn't being done. There is no direct, which means there's no direction for the future of your relationship. So now you know how many relationships end because they can't go out with their friends to different places? You know how many relationships end because they don't want to have kids after they've already been married, but the other spouse wants to have kids? This is what I've been trying to say. I'm an advocate of the direct approach. Listen, I'm speed dating every woman that I'm taking serious.
I think it's different, and I don't want to sound like I know what I'm talking about in this certain sense, but
Good.
let me just say, I think it's different when you have kids. I don't have any children, so I don't know that to be a fact. But I think when you date, when you have kids, it's different than when you don't have kids, because you have, like, no matter what, you have to factor them in, right?
Facts.
Or you have to factor the simple fact that all right,
You're not going to be just messing around.
Or you're not going to just
men and
no, you
women.
could just mess around, but you're not going to bring anybody around. It's a little bit
No,
different.
no, that's
but
what I'm saying.
Honestly, what we should be doing, and this is the problem that I feel like we are too free having sex and dating at a rampant rate, where that way we're taking nothing serious, and then bullshit happens in our lives where somebody gets pregnant that we don't really mess with, or we think we mess with, and then we end up being single, and whatever the case may be. If we actually sat down and took the time and said, yo, look, this is what I want. I'm looking at you because I believe that you could be what I want, and I hope I could be what you want, and therefore we can go forward in the right aspect, rather than just, hey, you know what? We're gonna fuck today. We'll figure out what you like and what I like 6 months from now.
But didn't you hear what I said on the first segment about the freaking capping? How are you gonna ever do that? See, that's why y'all gotta run this shit consecutively, okay? Because he's acting like he wasn't just on the last segment with me when I said it's all cap. So how are you gonna come to these type of agreements when it's all cap? We're saying all women is capping, the women is saying all men is capping. The opinions that we as men have, right, whether it's on camera or not, is we all feel like women be fucking lying all the time. Right? And that's just real. Whether they suck their teeth. Okay, Dave is the only one here. If I take a survey, if I take a survey in here,
you're doing the ill blame game right here.
10 men in here. 9 of them think women is lying, not Dave. Most men, we don't believe that they're capping. Put the camera on Dave, he don't fucking believe it, and he's telling me to my face.
I'm not saying they never lie, I'm saying they're not always lying.
They're 90% cap.
I don't think 90%.
He was on the last segment with me.
Maybe 65%.
What the hell are we talking about?
It's 65%, but you'll get it. It's 65%, right? So since they're lying, how are we gonna get to this harmonious land that everybody's talking about? This is fucking a fictional character. When you walking up to a girl and you trying to knock her box off, you ain't walking up to her on set. You're walking to her at the club, when we're drinking, when you know she's saucy, when she's looking sexy, when she look like she wants to smash, right or wrong. We're not just walking up to you looking like a maid in the middle of the motherfucking grocery store talking about, I'm trying to smash right now. Stop it, okay?
I mean, sometimes I see potential.
Right? So when you moving on, so we get to the straightforwardness, like I said before, if the majority, since Dave don't want to say everybody, if the majority of the people is capping, Amanda thinks men is capping, okay?
Amanda, you think men are always capping?
Okay, yes.
Always?
All right, so realistically, men are capping, women are capping, the truth hurts.
Hey, who's not capping?
The truth hurts, the direct approach can hurt sometimes. That's the truth.
Take a shot.
Well, maybe if everybody learned to be direct, then the cap will end.
That's why you have to have a balance. You have to have some indirect to you and some direct to you.
I'm just saying, like,
everybody been lying since time started.
I 100% know that you go with the direct approach, right? If you just want to fuck them, or if you just want to date them, or you just even want to talk to them and then fuck them, you're gonna tell them that.
Exactly.
That's a direct approach. You feel me? I think that, especially for men, a lot of men do the indirect approach, where then they start to cap. Right, so they do the indirect, so they try to beat around the bush. They do the courting that Naisha like, because people like Naisha like fictional fairy tales of men.
She just said it.
For people to know what.
And I'm saying, when you have, sometimes women want live in a fairy tale world,
Yes,
and they
Naisha
want
wants
a
a
man
fairy
to
tale, for
be
sure.
a fantasy fairy tale character, which it is
resource.
impossible to keep up with. So when he wants to court her,
keep up with
open
it.
every door, and do all of that shit, the moment he stops,
I'm
he's
out.
no longer being himself. He's changed, and he ain't shit. He's a liar, and he's a capper. And that's the problem. So but guess what? I am a firm advocate that if you tell Naisha what it is, and if Naisha likes you, Naisha's going to say, okay.
Exactly.
So you don't have to cap to get the box.
Okay, wait.
That's the whole point.
I believe that about Nation.
I agree with that.
Okay.
And I ask you, why you guys gotta be like kids though? Like,
That was not me. That was Amanda.
That was Amanda this time. Don't blame Rico and
yeah, but
episode
you
this
should
time.
know what
along with it, like, oh.
Amanda's the same way too. Look,
She's
and
funny.
Kelly's the same way too. If Kelly's found me remotely attractive and whatever she deems as attractive, and I'm carrying myself the proper way, and I say, hey, Kelly, yo, you know what? I would love to get to meet you, and tonight we're gonna have a good time. I wanna bring you back home. She's either gonna say yes or she's gonna say no. But even if she says no, she's still gonna go within 7 days.
Cap on that is when you invite them to the house and they go, listen, I'll go home with you but don't think nothing's happening.
That's the super cap.
Super cap.
Yes.
I'm not going there, period.
I'll go with you, but we're not fucking. That's right.
I'm not going to nobody's house if I'm not fucking. I'm not coming.
Okay.
I have to be honest, I've said that before. When do you, because you said when men cap, we're gonna use that word.
Lie, cap.
Lie, thank you. I'm like, what is that? When do you think women lie the most?
When they drunk.
When they wake up.
Like what we just said. No,
When they wake up,
All right,
boom.
relax. We're talking. Why do you think women use the indirect approach?
Because they're so scared to be themselves. You gotta think about it. Women lie about how many partners they have. Women lie about.
I think that's what it is.
Yes, it is.
Just keep going.
If women lie about how many partners they have, they lie about some things that have happened in their life because they don't want the man to know the truth about them because they want to be some type of angelic or some type of person to be seen as some type of person for this man. Whatever that thing.
I'm not gonna say all men. I'll say, to answer your question too, that some men, I blame men for this because we have for a long time made women feel bad about the decisions that they made. So when the woman felt like she could fuck on the first day, here comes Bozo now telling all his friends and putting her out to be a hoe that she really wasn't because she liked you and she was feeling you. And she felt that day she looked good, work is great, she lives by herself, she got her car, she wanted to go out, she wanted dick. And now when she got there, she gave it to you. You went and told fucking everybody and you made her look like a hoe. Now she goes, tells all her girlfriends, this motherfucker right here likes to talk too much. You know what I'm saying? Don't fuck with him. And then you started just talking too much. And all of a sudden girls are like, nah, let's give this motherfucker 7 days, like what she said.
Dave, if I could
I'm telling you.
Dave, can I tell you something? Now we're going off.
Okay.
But if I could fuck on the first night, you could fuck on the first night. Esther could fuck on the first night. Listen,
I know I could
I don't
fuck on
like
the first night.
listen, this is.
Oh, so you're making it easier for your boys.
No, what I'm saying is she's giving it up regardless to the right person. If you fit the credentials that she wants you to fit, she's gonna fuck you.
That's a fact.
That's all it is. So
That's the whole
when
fact.
I go and I say,
keyword
yo,
is
listen, when a guy now knows that many guys like I'm not the only Rico in this world. There are 7 billion people. There might be another million, but I want to say less.
There might be
There might be a million.
Maybe
There might be
100
a
million,
million
not that.
other Ricos that could go ahead and do this too. There's a million other Essos that could go ahead and do this too. Dave, so on and so forth. So you got to be real with yourself. If you go out there and you have a one night stand, don't shame yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I did.
Well, you
I had
shame
a one night
yourself for not
stand.
knowing what you're doing.
Being direct is also comes from, like we said, being honest with yourself and being confident.
Confident.
But
No, I wanna go
confidence.
back to- I
No,
wanna-
wait, but confidence does have some play in indirect approach because some people are very indirect because they don't know how the person is going to respond. Yeah, but I feel like what you're saying is a little different. That's lying. That's not sugarcoating. That's not being indirect.
That's what
when you
Esso's
brought up
saying.
when you brought up like how women like lie about their body counts because men don't make them feel comfortable, like that's lying. Like girls lie about their body count because men don't, make them feel accepting about their real shit. But sugarcoating, like, okay, so I did this and I did that and I did that, but that was just one time and that was only like 30 minutes. Like that's sugarcoating. Like
Sugarcoating and lying is the same thing.
cap.
it's not.
Yes, it is, because
cap.
sugarcoating is basically me trying to give you a plate that looks like cake, but it's really shit. And if you gave me a cake,
I
but you
didn't have a
didn't,
one night stand. I
only
didn't have a
gave him
one night
head.
stand. I only gave him. No, I'm not gonna tell you I gave him head. I'm just gonna say I didn't have a one night stand because she doesn't consider head as sex. So she'd be like, nah, I never did it before.
Okay, my vision of sugarcoating is I'm gonna tell you I got a cake for you, right? But little by little, I'm only giving you pieces of that whole cake.
Oh, that ain't sugarcoating to me.
I'm not giving you a plate of shit.
that's
When
no
I say I
fucking to
have
me.
a cake for you.
but that's different because
That's playing.
Yeah,
That's
a little
games.
bit different.
First of all, I feel like being straightforward helps you with your mental health, and it just cleanses your soul, because you don't have to deal with your lying. You don't got to deal with people coming back to you with stories, trying to figure out what you really got going on. You don't got to cover up more lies. And being straightforward lets people know where you're with them and where they are with you. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes being straightforward, you don't get the trophies right away. It takes time for people to know that you're not just being crass, or you're not just being a dickhead. You're just a straightforward person about everything that you got going on. I feel like it's way more pros than cons with being straightforward. If you're worried about the cons, you're worried about the superficial people that didn't want to be with you by you being factual about who you are.
I think I agree with everything you just said. Honesty is always the best policy. I think you do have to take in some consideration the person you are talking to, but at the end of the day, you will feel better not holding anything in. And at the end of the day, like, you are your number one priority. I am my number one priority. And as long as I feel like I'm set, then that's all that matters to me.
I think that the direct approach is the best way, especially being the person being courted. But, you know, indirect ways is almost like sugarcoating. Sometimes it works. Sometimes is, you know, you need a little balance. You could be direct. You could have the other person being indirect. Maybe both direct is a little bit too strong, I feel like, for me, because some people use the direct approach to be like very strong and nasty. So I like to keep it indirect. I like my fellas to keep it direct.
Yeah, I'm definitely direct, and it has hindered me. It has hurt me. I have lost women that I would have truly probably appreciated being with them from being direct, and they didn't like the way my lifestyle is or what I say or how I say it. It keeps me mentally stable, and it allows me to not have to continuously building lies. You know, once you lie and you continue to lie, you forget where the initial lie started at, yep. And then it just becomes a pile of shit. So to me, I'd rather lose you and not get to be with you, knowing that I was honest with you, and you realize down the line when you meet all those lying motherfuckers, who's the person you needed to be with.
And I honestly couldn't agree with you guys more. Listen, like, if you're like myself and, you know, you have problems dealing with conflict in the best way, being direct will save you a lot of that conflict and a lot of that headache, because you don't have to worry about anybody trying to come over and pull your card, anybody over trying to disturb your peace, because you could sleep better every single day when you know you put your best foot forward being who you were. And anybody who does not accept you, they was never going to accept you at some point in time anyways, because you got to be yourself. That's the only thing that you have. That's why they call me Hundo, because I've always kept it a Hundo. No, this is real facts. I always kept it a Hundo. So I stand on being direct.
And that makes sense. I feel like clearly for our audience that's watching right now, know who you are. Know if the direct approach is better for you or the indirect. Because clearly some of us do follow the direct and some of us follow the indirect. And some of us have a little bit of both. So whatever works for you, let us know below what you're thinking, if you're more of the direct person or the indirect. Once again, this is 8 at the Table. It's the girl Naisha on the set. Thank you for watching 8 at the Table. Tune in to next Thursday. Make sure you're following us on all social media platforms. Subscribe and click that notification button on the top. See you next Thursday.